Hello everybody, welcome to our video of the week, and I'm super excited for this video. Again guys, make sure you guys like and subscribe to all of our videos. Again, it really helps out the algorithm so these videos get out to more people. It motivates me to make more content. I want to make sure I'm bringing the best free content to you guys so you guys can take this content, implement it, and help you guys grow your own tax or accounting practice and do it very effectively and efficiently. For today's topic, what we're going to go over is how do you increase the lifetime value of your tax and accounting customers, right? So we're really going to dig into that subject. So as I always do, I'm going to dig into my iPad and start teaching you guys on this subject. Okay. So how do you increase the lifetime value of your tax and accounting customers? And this is one of the best topics that I love to cover, because you don't need to work with a million clients. With the old model, right? This is the old model. You guys have probably heard this a million times from me, right? The old model of running a tax and accounting practice, right? Where we would do tax prep. We will have clients anywhere between 300 to 500, okay? And our busiest time is during tax season, right? And we're moving a lot of volume. Okay, so we're working long hours. We're tired. You know, a lot of us are getting into our 40s, our 50s, and sustaining a lifestyle like this, where the biggest opportunities for us to make money is during tax season. And we have to push a lot of volume to do so, right? So this is the old model, okay? And as soon as you get done with that tax preparation engagement, you don't see these customers for another year, right? Until they come back. That's not high lifetime value. And what is high lifetime value is what we're talking about in the new model. Okay. Now we're going to talk about that new model. That new card ride with that new car smell, right? So the new model is basically where we're offering tax planning, which is an advisory service. Okay, tax planning, we're helping people save on taxes, correct? And we could charge anywhere between 3 to really 10K per deal, and even upwards, guy. I just say that, but you guys can charge 30, 40. It really depends on how big the savings are, but this kind of gives people a really good understanding of the bounds of which they can charge. So with tax planning, right, we lead with tax planning. This is where we're helping people save money on taxes, okay? Once we get done providing the plan, there's implementation. So let's say if we're switching a person from an LLC to a S Corp, right? There's a cost to doing that. So let's say a $10,000 engagement, let's say it's $1,000 to do just this strategy right here, right? Okay. Now that engagement is winning $11,000, right? And there might be a few more implementations. Maybe we're doing a cost segregation that might be $15,000 for a cost segregation study that we're doing, right? 25. So let's say that engagement right there, 26,000. Okay. So we went from basically just doing the tax plan, right? Now we have to implement the strategies, which adds basically another another $16,000 to the table. Now we're at $26,000. Okay. So now basically they need to get their tax returns done. Okay. They have business returns, 1120s. They want to get their personals done. They want to get their 1040s with us. Okay. Let's just say, just for the sake of this training, right? 1,500. Let's just say this is 1,000. Okay. So that's 2,500. Okay. So 2,500. Oh, geez. Sorry, guys. So 2,500 now attached on to this cost right here, right? Okay. All right. So now our engagement went from a tax plan, right? We did this tax plan. Let's just say this tax plan, what do we charge? Okay, so 10,000. So our original tax plan was $10,000, and now it went to 28,500 $500. And that's not including the bookkeeping work because they're a business owner. QuickBooks cleanup, those are other added costs to this customer. Then them coming back the next year to basically do their business returns, to do their personal returns, all that type of stuff. So when I go up here, what is long-term value? Long-term value is basically how much is that customer worth to you over time? See, the reason why the old model doesn't work when it comes to tax preparation, and just really run a tax preparation business is the simple fact that the long-term value, as soon as they get their tax return done, there's nothing else to sell them. That's why you have a really big season. You're working crazy hours trying to make as much money as you can and put all this money in the bank and hope to God nothing else happens. Then you're working another business during the off season and you haven't been able to just sustainably run this business because you do not have long-term value. When you get a customer, the customer instantly leaves. The best businesses in the world have extremely long-term value where customers come back and come back and come back. That's why you can have a business like this where you really have 15 to 20 clients, but you have such good long-term value. That value can sustain you for a whole entire year. That's why it's the best model to run. Okay, so that's what long-term value is. So you have to think with the beginning and the end in mind. So when I say that is when you're thinking about which business has the best LTV, that's why you're adding tax advisory services to your firm, i.e. tax planning, right? Or sometimes we'll call it tax strategy services, okay? So you lead with tax advisory services. Why do we lead with tax advisory services? And this is something that is super, super important. The reason that we lead with tax advisory services is because when we establish the relationship with the customer and we're helping them save money on taxes, and the first fee that they get, right, is $7,500. In the customer's mind, the customer knows that everything else going forward is a premium, right? Everything else going forward is a premium. So just like now when we're getting ready to basically present to them because they need to get their normal 1040s done and just a simple return, we're charging $1,000 to $1,200 for a simple tax return. And they're willing to pay that. They're willing to because we started the relationship with an advisory service that set the market. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're taking a company IPO and you're setting the market, right? Then once the market's set, it goes up from there. But if you set the market at $200, then you're asking the customer, hey, pay me $10,000. It's just a tougher sell. So you start the relationship with the higher price point. Then from there, all the rest of your price points are a premium. Why does Louis Vuitton sell a Louis Vuitton hat for $300? When you've established that price point in your head that a Louis Vuitton hat costs you $300 or a Louis Vuitton wallet costs you $500, in your mind, what do you think a shirt is going to cost, or pants, or a jacket? $2,000, $3,000, because they've set the standard on the pricing from the start. That's why this is the superior model, because you don't need to work with as many clients. You're setting the market at a high price point. Your long-term value of that client is extremely high, where you're turning a $300 engagement, you're throwing it out the window. You're turning a $7,500 engagement, right, or a $10,000 engagement, the example that we showed, into a $30,000 client over a year. Okay? You get 10 of those, that's $300,000 business. Most people don't do that in a full entire tax season. That's what you've turned the relationship with 10 clients. That's why you have to strategically think about your business model when you go into this. And that's why this is the new way, the new business model, and what we're trying to show you guys, right? Okay, so that's why we start with this in the beginning. The next way is ways to increase your fees, which is basically what we covered, is you really want to start with that price point in mind. So at the end of the day, if we recap what we talked about today, is when you're building a tax or accounting practice, you need to follow the new firm model. Okay. And what is the new firm model? The new firm model is offering tax advisory service as the first point in which a customer has a relationship with you, i.e. offering tax planning. Okay. That's what you lead with. You don't lead with preparation services. That's a commodity-based service. If you've been watching my videos, you know what a commodity-based service is. It's a competition to the lowest price point. Nobody wants to play that game. This is value-based pricing because the value that you show is far exceeds the price point. Okay, so you can look at the other previous videos and understand exactly how the pricing works. I have a whole entire video on that. So this is the new firm model. You lead with, you're going to offer advisory services and you're going to offer tax planning. The reason being is because two, you're going to get LTV, long-term value. Okay. What does that mean? Basically, the value of the customer is a lot bigger than basically a one-time cost or one-time relationship. Normal consumers in the old model, they're doing a $300, $400 tax return, then they're absolutely done. Or they're basically doing bookkeeping work for a client, accounting cleanup, and they're done, right? This relationship is a long relationship where the customer is worth a lot more than just the first deal that they sign with you, because they're going to do multiple transactions with you. And this is why this is such a superior model, okay? Then the last thing is you're going to make more and work less. I think everybody likes that, make more and work less, right? So you're going to make more money. Obviously, you're charging a higher price point. It's a value-based service. It's an advisory service. Then as well, you're going to work less. You're not working crazy long hours or anything like that. You're not front loading all your time during tax season or whatever the case may be, or you're doing all this accounting work every single month with all these recurring clients that you're charging $500 to $800, which is really nothing in the big scheme of things. You know, you could eventually do the bookkeeping and accounting work, right? But when we do bookkeeping and accounting work, we're charging $1,500, $2,000 a month reoccurring. Why are we able to do that? We're able to do that for the simple fact that we led with tax advisory services, tax planning, and we set the market the same way Gucci or Louis Vuitton or Tom Ford sets the market when you buy a pair of sunglasses for $800. If you want to buy Tom Ford cologne, shirts, this, that, it's $1,500, $2,000, $3,000. You can go down the street and get accounting services, but you don't want to work with them because the value of the service has been so good. You know how, and we all as professionals know how this is, right? Let me put my main camera on for this, right? When you come into a relationship with a tax professional or accounting professional, to the consumer, this isn't something that's a sexy thing where they're going out trying to shop a million people. They're trying to have a million options. As soon as they find somebody, they tend to stay with them. It's not a fun type deal. So if you lead the relationship with this and you end up having all the customers' personal information, their books, their tax returns, 9 times out of 10, they don't want to go anywhere. They just want to work with you unless the work that you've done is egregious or they're overpaying on taxes. But you're not going to be a tax professional that's going to allow your customers to overpay on taxes. If you're helping your customer save on taxes, they're not going anywhere. Okay? Unless you just make some crazy mistakes. So if you know that, you need to start the relationship off with a high value service. When you do that, now these customers are willing to stay with you and you're going to be able to charge a premium. The same way where I like Dior, right? Dior is one of my favorite brands. Even my first product that I bought from Dior was a Dior wallet for $500. I couldn't believe it, but I said, okay, I'll pay it. Then I started buying the shirts and, shoes, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. And I've kept increasing from there. It's the same thing when it comes to tax and accounting services. You have to start the market off right there. Then the rest of these other services that you're offering, right? These other services from prep, right? No less than $1,500 to $2,000, right? Monthly bookkeeping, right? no less than $1,500 a month. Okay. And all the rest of your services, entity setup, right? You know how much we charge for an entity? They can go to LegalZoom and get an entity for $200, $300. You know what we charge them for entities? $2,000. Now think about the premium, the markup on that. We're able to do that, and customers are able to want to pay that because we started the relationship off right. And LTV increases, and we're not working as much. We don't have to work with as many clients, and that's why this is the superior business model, guys. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is make sure, again, I always tell you guys this, but it really means a lot. Please make sure you like the videos, guys. It really does help. It gets these videos out to a lot more people within our network. Like I always say, it motivates me. Please make comments in the videos on different subjects that you guys want to hear about. It allows me to kind of, I have like a whole bank of content that I'm creating. So it allows me basically to add more stuff to it, to give you guys free content. It's completely free. I just want to educate you guys and give as much as I possibly can. Okay. All right. So again, guys, I appreciate it. And I'll be back with another video next week. Take care.